So on this lovely Monday, I thought it would be fun to talk about some of my fantasy book recs. I have just really more recently gotten into fantasy, and I'm very picky with my fantasy. So I have a few, I have a list of like 5 fantasy books that I would recommend that are not the extremely popular mainstream fantasies. Like, you're not going to see ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, Powerless. Okay, one of them is pretty well known in mainstream, but I can excuse it because it's so amazing. But I want to try to push recommendations for like indie authors, small authors. I really, really want to give them some publicity, I guess you would say. I want to give them some love. They definitely deserve it. And maybe you will find a new book or series that you really love, and you can start following these amazing small authors because they work so hard for the books that they put out. I have a nice little stack. They work so hard, and a couple of them I was on their ARC reading team, and I loved the books enough to buy the physical copy after reading the ARC. So I'm going to give you those recommendations. We'll start with my super mainstream one so that we can get it out of the way, and then we'll talk about some smaller ones. So my first recommendation, and one of my most beloved book series, I guarantee you've heard of it. It's all over Book Talk, Bookstagram, everything. And there is a new spin-off of the series coming out soon. Super excited for that. Shatter Me. I absolutely adore this book series. It is one of my favorite book series of all time at this point. I was a little bit apprehensive to start it, but once I started it, I could not stop reading it. If you really like dystopian young adult books, I wouldn't say like specifically similar to the Hunger Games, but like that post-apocalyptic, like the government that we know is gone and somebody new has come in and taken over, like that kind of thing. If you want like Hunger Games-esque, but with a little bit of magic, kind of, or like powers mixed on in. My mom's cat is trying to get out of my bedroom because she constantly wants in here, and then as soon as I close the door, she wants out. She can wait. Shatter Me is perfect for you if you like kind of dystopian fantasy. I only say it's similar to the Hunger Games in the aspect of that kind of post-apocalyptic government takeover kind of idea. I would say it could be similar to Powerless, but I don't think it's really that similar besides having powers. And Powerless is like insanely similar to the Hunger Games. So like those I would kind of group together. Shatter Me is like its own entity, its own thing. I have not read anything like it ever. And it is just absolutely amazing. If you want YA that is not really all that spicy, I mean, there's like a little bit dotted here and there, but it's not explicit. It's very like closed door. Love, love, love it. You may love it too. Give it a try. I promise that it will not disappoint. I just absolutely adore it. I want more people to read it and adore it as much as I do. But now that that mainstream one is out of the way, we're going to jump into some smaller ones or older ones that I have to recommend. The cat has joined me now instead of wanting to leave. Oh, she almost fell. But this one is not really a small author. Hello. But it is older, and I have only ever seen one person ever talk about it. So I guess we could call it smaller by that standard. That is The Legend of Drizzt. This is the second book in the series. I still need to start this one. But my dad recommended this to me. He owns almost the entire series. He absolutely loves them. He recommended it to me, gave me his copy to read. I absolutely loved it. So I need to finish. I think there are 14 books in this series, roundabout. If you like D&D, you will probably love this. I love D&D. I play D&D with my boyfriend and our friends. It's something I really enjoy. And it also made it easier to read this book because I understood the creatures and the different races and that kind of stuff. If you like Lord of the Rings, that one is also kind of in the same realm with like orcs and all of that kind of, like those kinds of monsters. They are a part of this too. And like elves are a huge thing in both like Tolkien and D&D type stories. This was my first ever D&D story, and I am so happy that I started it. This book actually, was published before D&D picked it up and was like, yeah, we want to make you an official D&D book series, which is crazy, by the way. So this one still has the old like publishing logo. You probably can't see it. I'll try to like find a picture of the logo and put it up somewhere. Called Wizards of the Coast, I think. But so good. D&D picked it up, gave it new covers and everything. But I really, really like these original covers. The art is gorgeous. If you like D&D, Tolkien, like that kind of fantasy, pick up Legend of Drizzt. You can find it. I found it on mostly Amazon. I don't know if you can find it on Barnes & Noble, but I would not be surprised. Very good book. Now we're going to jump into like a different kind of fantasy than this. So this next one, also yes, I am wearing my fourth wing attire. For a fantasy video, we had to wear fantasy gear. But this is also one that I would recommend if you enjoy like Lord of the Rings, Legend of Zelda, like those kinds of things. This I did read as an ARC. I have read this one and the prequel as ARCs. I cannot wait to get the prequel, by the way. Once it comes out in a physical book, I am going to be getting it. This is from the Gallian Quartet, Book 1, Prelude of Fire. This book, I did not expect it to be as, I don't want to say enjoyable. I didn't expect it to be my thing, but I was really excited to give it a chance, and it was my first ARC I was ever a part of, so it holds a very, very special place in my heart. This is the first book, and then the second is a prequel called Serenade of Kings that shows us the lead up to the situation that is in this book. I absolutely loved that prequel book. I would say I liked the prequel more than this one, but I think that is because I kind of knew where we were headed, and so I was very excited to see like the build-up of how to get to this. But this book is so good, and I have the paperback that has these cute like character drawings in it. I have a beautiful map. The chapters have these beautiful colored headers. I think there might be some other cool character art in here. I'll try to find some. I think there's probably some in the back. If I can find it. Oh, that one is the second book. So I will show you that one as well so that you can see what it looks like and know what to look for. Oh, and there is bonus content in the physical book too. So that was so exciting. I also have my name in the back of the book as a like thank you for being part of the ARC team. I literally like excited screamed out loud when I saw it. But these are the books that are out in the Galilean Quartet so far. Prelude of Fire, this one, and then Serenade of Kings, the second book and the prequel. This is going to be a quartet, so there are 2 more books to come. And I cannot wait for those books. I'll try to find my name in here. I forget what page it's on, which you'd think I'd know what page it's on. If I can't find it, it is not a huge deal. I can always put a picture of it when I do eventually find it. Oh, wait, here it is. I also added my friend's name to it because she was super excited. There it is, Josie. Oh, so exciting. If you were part of the Kickstarter for this book, you got your name added into it, especially if you were an ARC reader, which I was, and I am still just so excited to be part of an ARC team. But that is that book. I have a couple other books that I read as ARCs to recommend. They are a little bit different than this one, though. So this next one I don't have a physical copy of yet. It is on my Kindle, but this was probably my favorite out of the fantasy books that I have read so far this year. The fantasy books I've read this year have been absolutely amazing, but this one I held like a really special place in my heart because this book was a fantasy retelling of Cain and Abel, my absolute favorite biblical story ever. East of Eden is one of my favorite books of all time because it is such a beautiful rewrite of that story. This book was also such an amazing, beautiful rewrite of this story. There are some differences, being that the brothers are not twins. I forget if Cain and Abel were twins in the original story. It's been a while since I've read it, but East of Eden, they're always twins, it seems. But this one takes place in Trinidad in, I believe, the 1960s. Even though it uses the kind of language that was used then and little dialect things, names for things that we do not use here in the States, it was still so easy to understand. It was very easy to get into. I loved the like magic system in the book. It wasn't quite magic, but it was still some kind of like biblical type magic, if you want to describe it that way, like devil work, like afterlife, ghosts, spirits, like that kind of like magic. Oh my god. I absolutely adored this book. It is so good. If you like those kind of biblical type stories, definitely read this one. It's not super long, so it's not going to be like an East of Eden, like, ginormo writing or reading, but it is so worth the time that it takes. The research for this book, immaculate. I loved the language, even when kind of writing as if it is in an accent or those types of things, just like a locational language difference. Still so beautifully written, so easy to understand. You follow it very easily. I could talk about the book all day. I will always and forever be recommending it. I probably have put a picture up on the screen to show you what the book looks like. I think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. Definitely worth the read if you're looking for a different kind of fantasy. This one is a historical fantasy. Absolutely amazing read if you like historical fiction or like biblical fantasy. My next one is different from that as well, but I also have a more well-known book to compare it to. So we should have an easy time talking about it. My last recommendation is a Alice in Wonderland inspired fantasy book. Alice in Wonderland was one of my favorite stories growing up. I was able to read this book as an ARC, so I think it'll be fun to show you kind of the promotional kind of stuff I got with the book, and then I will show it to you. The second book is going to be out soon. I am also an ARC reader for that, so I'm super, super excited about that. First, I have my nice little thank you card that came with it that says, thank you for being an ARC reader and everything like that. Having a handwritten note from an author, it makes me like giddy. I am absolutely starstruck by authors, so this is something I will cherish forever. They came with this cute little card. It has the author's social medias on it, but on the other side it has really cute character art in a comic book style. Absolutely love this. It also came with a couple bookmarks that are absolutely gorgeous. This is kind of a sky, and then when you flip it over, it has the two main characters and a book quote. Look at that art. It is gorgeous. I absolutely love this bookmark. The next one also has character art on it. Shows our main male character. Don't mind my nails. I know they are nasty right now. I need to do them so that they look nice, but I just am too lazy to do that right now. But this is Noah, our main male character. And when you flip it over, whoops, you have Celeste, the main female character. They come from two different worlds. So there are some kind of challenges when learning about each other's worlds and the other things that come along with that. This is another absolutely gorgeous art print of the two of them. I think it goes this way. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm absolutely in love with all of the character art for this book. I am also in love with the design of the book it is itself. World Beyond the Horizon. Absolutely gorgeous cover. It wraps around to the back. And I was able to get a signed copy. My first signed book I've ever owned. So it is very, very special to me. The book is only a duology, so the second book will be the last book. But for the second book, they've done a redesign of the cover art. I will include a picture of it. The original cover art for the second book will also be for sale. So I will be getting the one that matches this, and then you can expect me to get the new absolutely gorgeous cover art for the hardcovers. And those will be my really pretty display books, because I absolutely adored this story so much, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the second book. There's also this absolutely gorgeous page at the end of the story, well, towards the end of the story. There are some little pieces of character art in here. I just passed it. Where did it go? There it is. There's Celeste. I absolutely love her. She is just so cute. And I think that a lot of us can relate to her. These absolutely gorgeous maps in the front of the book, I absolutely love. And then we start our book off with Noah, who I think is adorable. I think he is absolutely adorable and lovable, but that might just be me. Who knows? But those were my 5 fantasy book recs that most of the time I don't see people talk about besides Shatter Me, but very special series. So I hope that you give some of these books a chance, and I hope you love them just as much as I did. I will see you on Friday. Happy reading. Goodbye.